This video is about birds. That's right, birds. We're talking birds, baby. I'm not talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. Go Birds! No, I'm not talking about them. Go Birds! I'm not talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. No, I'm not talking about anything else. I'm talking about actual birds. You know birds, the masters of the sky, the avians, animals that soar majestically through the air. They're covered in feathers, or as some people call them, plumage. Beautiful plumage. Today I'm doing a tier list, and this tier list has been requested by my wife, also known as Mrs. Pearlmania. Typically, she sits across from me at this desk, and we do a podcast called Too Many Tabs. And in a recent episode and video, she mentioned her idea about a bird tier list. And y'all got in the comments, and you spammed them. You spammed the comments. You hit it. I thought I was under a Russian bot dox attack. But it wasn't. It was actual fans being like, hey, we want to hear more about birds. What's with you and the birds? And here's the thing. Let me tell you something. I like birds. I'm into birds. Birds are cool. I'm not scientifically into them. I wouldn't call myself a birder. I wouldn't say that I walk through the woods and look specifically for birds and then check them off on a list. But do I have a list of birds of the mid-Atlantic states just in case I'm ever out and I don't know what that bird is? Yeah, I got one. Do I have bird bingo? Yeah, I have bird bingo. But in reality, I just like looking at birds, and I have opinions. And what is better than looking at stuff and having opinions about them than doing another tier list? Let me tell you why I have opinions about birds. It started when I hit my mid-30s, and the entire world was enraptured in the pandemic. Remember the pandemic? Don't remember I felt like we were turning a page there? Turning a page into a new chapter of hell. But during the pandemic, I was stuck inside, looking out the window, outside, and what was I looking at? The occasional bird. And I thought to myself, I want to see more birds. There isn't anything good on television. All the celebrities keep doing Zoom calls where they read old scripts about shows they used to be on. Remember that during the pandemic? So I got tired of watching those shows, but I liked looking at the birds, so I bought a bird feeder. And once I had the bird feeder, suddenly more birds started showing up. And I said, oh, look at all these birds. And Mrs. P thought it was the funniest thing in the world. She goes, look at you. You're in your mid-30s and you care about birds. And I said, yep, yes, I do. Oh my God, I'm super into birds. And then one day we got an email from the corporate landlord of the building we lived in. And they said, you have to remove your bird feeder because birds are an infestation that will attract bugs and other parasites. And I said, that's not true. Birds eat bugs. Birds eat parasites. And they said, we'll evict you. And we said, okay, we'll got rid of the bird feeder. But that moment was when we did realize we had to move. We had to move from a corporate apartment structure into our own home. And that's when we started looking for a house. And so thank you to birds. Because of birds, I'm a homeowner. Now let's look at this tier list over here. This is the tier list. You guys have seen it before. I'm not going to explain it to you again. Don't make me do that. S is the best. T is the worst. Everything else in between is gravy. We're going to start here with the simple sparrow. This is an image of a field sparrow. Sparrows are little brown birds. You see them in a lot of East Coast cities. They just are kind of there. They're just these tiny little birds. I would see them in Philadelphia all the time. They always seem out of place in a city, but they look beautiful in a field. And that's why this is a field sparrow. Field sparrows, S tier. That's right. They fill up all the qualifications. They're a bird. All the qualifications. Up next, it's a weird bird I'd never heard of before. This is actually a catbird. I know, not cat dog. Not cat dog from Nickelodeon. No, this is catbird. I've never heard of catbird before, but catbird is actually a very territorial species. Mrs. P wrote up a lot of little fun bird facts for me because she said, you're not Brennan Lee Mulligan. You don't have bird facts. People are going to come to this for bird facts. Her fact about the catbird is that they're very territorial and they will actually attack their own reflection to defend their nest. So oftentimes catbirds will attack windows, like actual, not windows like, oh my God, Bill Gates, he's trying to put a vaccine chip in my body. No. Windows like on the wall. From the windows to the wall, the catbird is trying to smash to the windows to get to something inside because it's trying to defend its territory. Catbird, S tier. Up next, blue jay. You guys know the blue jays? Beautiful birds. Beautiful birds. Fun story, an interesting fact about blue jays. Blue jays are not actually blue. Their feathers are actually brown. What they have is they have little barbs on their feathers, and those barbs reflect blue light. But if you actually look at the feathers, they're actually brown feathers. I did not know that. To me, it sounds like a very scientific way of trying to just be a contrarian at a party. Oh, nice blue jay. It's actually not blue. But I'll tell you what blue jays are. Big old bullies. If you have a blue jay around your bird feeder, it's beating up the other birds. It's doing that, and then it's getting its fill, and it's running away. That's why blue jays are S tier. Yep, S tier. 100%. Love a blue jay. Big fan. Up next, Cardinals. Or as some of you might think of, your dead aunt. I don't know why some people believe when they see cardinals that a cardinal is a symbol of a loved one who's passed away, right? Like a loved one passed away, and I saw this cardinal. I just knew Aunt Kathy was watching over us. I just knew it. You ever seen a cardinal prancing in the snow? Cardinals know how to prance in the snow. When I see a cardinal prancing in the snow, I say, that should be a puzzle. That should be a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. And we should buy Mod Podge and we should put it together and then seal it all up and put it on the wall. For all of those reasons, Cardinals, S tier.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Up next, crows. I know. I actually heard that the new Crow movie was actually decent. And that people didn't give it a fair shot. I heard it from a friend of mine who only watched it because there was the film available on a plane. So he's like, hey, as the only film available on a plane, it's a good movie. But crows in general, actual crows, are really interesting. They're really intelligent. Crows have facial recognition. Crows are like a tech billionaire with facial recognition technology. They've done studies of like a guy put on like a mask that was like a specific thing, and they went and they bothered crows, and they would attack. The crows would attack because they knew like that guy's face is evil. And then they had a different person wear the mask, and the crows immediately attacked because they recognized the face on the mask. But the same person go back, so it wasn't smell because they take the mask off. Mask off, right? Just like our government. We're going full mask off right now in 2025. Crows also have funerals for their dead. Did you know that? And a group of them is called a murder. I know you knew that one. Everybody knows that one. But crows are really cool. Crows are also, they have like a haunting feel to them. They get mixed in with ravens a lot because, black feathers, like a gothic feel to them. I like a crow. Crows are powerful. Crows are smart. Crows are kind of cheeky. And if you can get crows on your side, nothing can stop you. Crows are S tier. Up next, the eastern bluebird. This little guy, this little beauty. So remember how I told you at the beginning of the episode about how Mrs. P and I decided to buy a house because I couldn't put up a bird feeder anymore. When we went to look at the first house we were going to try to buy, this type of bird, the eastern bluebird, was in the backyard. Mrs. P had never seen it. Mrs. Pearlman had never seen this bird. I had never seen this bird. It was beautiful. Beautiful blue back, blue wings, orange neck, white tummy. It looked like a creamsicle wearing a nice blue jacket. I said, that's a beautiful bird. Before we know it, we started to notice the bird in a lot of different places, and now it's one of our favorite birds. It's the eastern bluebird. It's a cute little guy. They migrate to Cuba. Yeah, so they'll be in Pennsylvania, and then they go to Cuba. This bird gets to go to Cuba. Do I get to go to Cuba? No, which is why I had to join Red Note, so I could find out more about Cuba. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, FBI. I'm kidding. Eastern bluebird, S tier. Up next, red-tailed hawk. You got a lot of hawks out there. There's a lot of birds of prey. Birds of Prey, also a good movie. Not because it's about birds, because it's about female empowerment. But red-tailed hawks are beautiful birds, and they're also really, really powerful. They can actually fly 20 to 40 miles per hour, and they have dive speeds when they're diving down to grab something of up to 120 miles per hour. That's a pretty cool fact. That's a Mrs. P bird fact. That's why red-tailed hawks, S tier. Up next, my absolute favorite bird. This is my favorite bird. I'm really mad that it's a little cropped off here. We're gonna have the editor throw a big one on the screen. This is, ladies and gentlemen, the Tufted Titmouse. It's just a fun name to say. The thing you need to know about the Tufted Titmouse is this. Number one, tufty boy. I love a tuft. Editor, throw it up on the screen. Throw it up on the screen. That way. This is the way I'm pointing. This way. Throw a Tufted Titmouse up there. Look at the top of his head. Look at that little tufty. Doesn't it remind you of like one of those guys in the early 2000s where they had the little swoop at the top? Yeah, you know the ones. You guys remember 2004? What? Everybody had that. I love a tufty boy. Tufted titmouses are great also because they are one of the few birds, I've recently found out, that actually pick up bird seed in their little bird claws. They pick it up with their bird claws. All these other birds, they pick it up with their mouth. Tufted titmouses swoop down, they grab the bird seed, and they fly away, and then they go eat it in the safety of the trees. Tufted titmouse, S tier. Up next, seagulls. Okay, these Nazis. I hate a seagull. a seagull. I know I've been here talking about, I'm like, go birds. I love a bird. Seagulls aren't birds. Seagulls are demons, okay? What do they steal? French fries. They'll steal food right out of your hand. They'll steal food from a baby. Seagulls are the Republicans of the sky. What do? They got no jobs. They hang out in parking lots, Walmart parking lots, and the ocean? Seagulls so salty they're the only bird that can drink salt water. How about that? How about that for a fact? Seagulls, D tier. Get out of here. Nobody, get out of here. Go on, get. Scram, seagulls. Well, we're feeling patriotic this week, aren't we, folks? It's an inauguration, big time in America. Big time, gotta bring up the symbol of America. The American bald eagle, folks, we're here. It's the American bald eagle. I'm not bald, I have a full head of hair, but this eagle is bald. And we love a bald-faced eagle. The American bald eagle has been through it. Was nearly extinct at one point. We had to do a lot of work to bring it back. In fact, Dolly Parton, you guys know Dolly Parton, the country singer, writer of Jolene and I Will Always Love You? That Dolly Parton has a bald eagle rescue at Dollywood. And when Mrs. P and I went down to Dollywood, we got to actually go to the bald eagle rescue. It's there, it's open, that you could be and meet bald eagles in various states of disrepair that they were using to rebreed bald eagles and reintroduce them into society. The bald eagle rescue at Dollywood is in a town called Pigeon Forge. Not Eagle Pass, no, Pigeon Forge. But it's full of eagles. Very majestic birds, symbol of America. Also, in general, they're a bird. So they're going to be S tier. They're going to be S tier. However, somebody did not believe they should be the symbol of America. And that somebody was none other than Philadelphia's own founding father, Benjamin Franklin. You guys know Benny Franklin? Benjamin Franklin. Look at that. Here, throw up an image of Benjamin Franklin. Look at that calf muscle. Back then, that was like showing neck. All right? That was like showing like neck. Benjamin Franklin did not believe that the bald eagle should be the symbol of America, and he did not believe that the bald eagle should be on the Great Seal of America. And in fact, he wrote, and I quote, "The bald eagle is a bird of bad moral character. He does not get his living honestly. He is too lazy to fish for himself." That's right. He thought the bald eagle wouldn't be a good symbol of America. But what did he think would be a good symbol for America? What did Benjamin Franklin, the founding father who was there for the Declaration of Independence and so many other steps along the way of the founding of this great nation almost 250 years ago? Benjamin Franklin believed that there was a more respectable bird, a true original native to American, and though that bird was a little vain and silly, it is a bird of courage. That's right, we're talking about none other than the American turkey. Look at this thickum, this absolute unit. If you've never seen a turkey alive, I know you've seen a turkey in a sandwich. I know you've maybe seen a turkey drumstick while you're at the Renaissance Fair. If you've never seen a living turkey, it feels like a dinosaur is walking towards you. They got a weird head, big old body, beautiful plumage. I have actually been in the presence of wild turkey. No, not a bottle that you find underneath a kitchen from somebody who's going through it. No, a wild turkey. Actual turkeys walking around in the woods of Pennsylvania. And here's what was terrifying about a wild turkey walking towards you. That means there's probably a hunter pointing a gun in your vicinity. And I got real scared. I wasn't scared of the turkey, but it was interesting and majestic and large. These are big old thickums. They're actually beautiful birds, but also they got some weirdness to them. If you look at their heads, odd. But the turkey has brought so much joy to us, and so much joy especially to my family. The turkey is Mrs. Pearlmania's favorite dish on her favorite day, which is Thanksgiving. And so many of us have sat around eating a big old turkey. So let's go ahead and put the turkey in S tier. And lastly, that brings us to who? The pigeon. The noble pigeon. Now, back in the day, I would not have put the pigeon high up there. A lot of people call pigeons what? They say, oh, pigeons are rats with wings. They say, oh, pigeons are an infestation in our cities. And the thing is, I'm here to tell you something. Some of you may already know this. Some of you may already know what I'm about to say. The story of the pigeon is the greatest tragedy of humankind. Side by side with dogs and cats, we domesticated the pigeon fully. We made the pigeon our primary form of communications. Pigeons went to war. Pigeons used to be how nations and cities sent notes back and forth before we had the telephone or the telegraph or the radio or Twitter. We used to tweet by tying a note to a pigeon's feet. And one day, We invented other ways of doing that. And what did we do with the billions of pigeons that we had bred over the years and trained to return home to our human domicile? We dumped them into the streets. And that's why pigeons live in cities, because they want to be near us. They want to be near their old friends. And we turned our backs on them. We did. We turned our backs on the pigeons. And now all we do is complain about them pooping on our statues. For that reason, pigeons are not only S tier, they're also first pole position S tier. Pigeons, I'm so sorry for what we did to you. The only way to make it up to you, pigeons, is for us to set off an EMP, sending humanity spiraling backwards technologically and making us return to needing your services to be able to communicate once again. And don't worry, pigeons, we'll do that soon, because I have a feeling we're about to wipe ourselves out. So, sorry, don't mean to be a bummer at the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this tier list, and go birds! Go birds, baby! Fly, Eagles, fly, birds! I think that was unnecessary. Or was it part of my personality? Thank you so much for watching this video. Like, subscribe, comment, follow me across social media, because who knows which apps are still going to be around. While I was making this video, TikTok got unbanned, and then other parts of the government yelled, we're still going to ban it anyway. I don't know. Listen, we all live in a nightmare. Life is chaos, but who knows? Who knows where we're going to be? Editor's now going to throw up a really cute comment, and is also going to show you a playlist and some other videos that you can see and watch if you're just trying to pass the time. Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Pearlmania, 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 500.